She pushed the boy into the river. He grabbed her wrapper. She kicked his hands away. The water closed over his head. They buried an empty coffin. But the river returned what it took. And it came back angry. She was his stepmother. She hated him. And the river knew her name. The river was quiet when she pushed him. Too quiet. The boy did not even have time to scream. One moment, his feet were on the wooden bridge. The next, his body hit the black water. He splashed once. Twice. Then his head went under. She stood at the river wooden bridge and watched. Her wrapper fluttered in the breeze. Her face showed no fear. "Stay there," she whispered. "Let the river take you." The boy struggled. His small hand slapped the water. His mouth opened, but the river rushed inside. He tried to call his father. Only bubbles came out. The current dragged him away from the bank. Downward. Into the dark bend where no one ever swam. The woman stepped back. She brushed her hands together. Then she turned and walked home. By evening, she was crying loudly. She told the villagers the boy had gone to fetch water. She said he slept. She said the river was wicked. They searched all night. They found his slippers. They found the broken calabash. They did not find the boy. By morning, the river was calm again. Too calm. And deep beneath the water, the boy's eyes were still open. The river did not close his eyes. His body sank to the muddy bottom. Cold wrapped around his bones. The water pressed into his chest. He should have died. But the river listened. The boy remembered her face. The way she smiled as she pushed him. The way she kicked his fingers when he tried to climb out. The river stirred. Fish fled. Crabs hid in the mud. Something old woke beneath the water. The boy's chest burned. Water rushed out of his mouth. He coughed. He breathed. His eyes glowed faintly in the darkness. The river did not release him. It held him. It changed him. Days passed above the water. The villagers mourned. An empty coffin was buried. But under the river, the boy was learning new sounds. The sound of bones cracking back into place. The sound of the river speaking his name. "Go back," it whispered. "Go back wet. Go back angry." When he rose from the riverbank 3 nights later, his skin was pale. His feet dripped water onto the sand. He did not blink. He did not shiver. The river clung to him. And it followed him home. Wet footprints appeared at her doorway. She noticed them when she stepped outside before dawn. Small footprints. Bare feet. They led from the bush straight to her door. Her throat tightened. She told herself it was nothing. A child passing. A foolish coincidence. That night, she heard water dripping inside her room. Drip. 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 She sat up. Her heart hammered. The room smelled like the river. She whispered her son's name. No answer. Then she heard breathing. Slow. Wet. Close. She reached for the lamp. Before the light came on, a voice spoke. "Mother." Her blood froze. She screamed and lit the lamp. The room was empty. But the floor was wet. And on the wall, drawn in mud, was a single word. Why? She did not sleep again that night. Outside, the river flowed gently. Patient. Watching. The woman changed. She stopped shouting at people. She stopped sleeping. Dark circles ringed her eyes. She jumped at every sound of water. She avoided the river. But the river did not avoid her. At the stream where women washed clothes, the water turned brown when she arrived. Children began to fall sick after she touched them. One boy coughed up muddy water. Another claimed he saw a wet child standing outside his window. Whispers spread. Something followed that boy. The river rejected death. The woman carries a curse. That night, screams tore through her compound. Villagers rushed in. They found her rolling on the floor. Her body was soaked. Her wrapper clung to her skin. She pointed at the corner of the room. "He is there," she cried. "He is standing there." No one saw him. But everyone heard the dripping. Drip, drip, drip. From the ceiling. He stood at the foot of her mat. She could see him clearly now. His neck bent at an unnatural angle. Water poured from his hair. His eyes were black like the river at night. "You pushed me," he said. She crawled backward. Her back hit the wall. "I did not mean it," she begged. "I was angry. I was jealous." The boy tilted his head. "You watched me drown." The room filled with water. It rose to her ankles. Then her knees. She screamed for help. No sound left the room. "You took my breath," the boy said. "So I will take yours slowly." The water climbed higher. Outside, the river swelled. And this was only the beginning of her punishment. The river whispered to her in the dead of night. She heard it through the walls, through the floor, through the wind itself. "You killed him," it murmured. "You took him from me." Her heart pounded. She tried to block the sound, but it grew louder. The river laughed in low, gurgling tones, like something under the water rising to see her. In her dreams, the boy appeared. Wet hair clinging to his pale face. Eyes black as the deep bend of the river. His lips moved, but no sound came. By morning, her hut was damp. Water had pooled on the floor. Mud streaks ran up the walls. Footprints led from the door to the center of the room and disappeared. She went to the village elders for help. They muttered prayers. They sprinkled salt. They whispered charms. But nothing stopped the dripping. The dripping followed her. Everywhere she went. At the riverbank, a voice called her name. She froze. The water churned violently, revealing the boy's face just beneath the surface. His hands clawed the water toward her. The river's curse had begun in earnest. And it would not rest until payment was made. Sleep did not come for her. When she closed her eyes, she saw him everywhere. In mirrors. In windows. Even in the shadows cast by her own hands. Each night, the boy grew larger. Stronger. Wetter. His eyes burned like coal. The villagers noticed strange happenings. Cattle refused to drink from the river. Dogs howled at the riverbank, and children swore they saw a pale boy standing in the shadows, dripping wet, staring at her. She tried to leave the village. The river followed. Water crept along the roads behind her feet. Mud clung to her slippers. One night, she awoke to the sound of a splash inside her hut. A wet hand grabbed her ankle. She screamed. She kicked. The hand did not release. He whispered, low and wet. "You took my life. I take what I want." The water rose again. Her screams echoed across the village. No one dared enter. By dawn, she was alone. Wet footprints led from the door to her bed. And they were not hers. The boy was hunting. And the river was his weapon. The village began to tremble. It was no longer just the woman. Anyone who had ignored the river's rules, anyone who had been cruel or selfish, found the water following them. A man walking home from the market noticed his shoes were soaked. He had not stepped in a puddle. When he looked down, tiny wet footprints led from the river to his doorway. Children stopped playing near the banks. The elders whispered warnings about the boy in the river. But it was too late. The woman was the first to truly suffer. Every room she entered filled with water. Her clothes were soaked through. She slipped on the wet floor, fell, and screamed. When she reached for help, the boy's shadow stretched across her walls. She fell to her knees. He whispered, low and wet. You cannot hide from me. I know what you did. The river outside roared. Fish leapt, screaming silently. Water crept along the village paths. And everywhere, wet footprints appeared. It was no longer just punishment. It was a warning. The boy demanded respect. The river demanded blood. And the villagers understood. If they did not act, the curse would reach everyone. She turned to the elders for protection. They drew circles of salt. They chanted prayers. They burned leaves and herbs. They called on the gods. But the boy did not respect boundaries. He walked through salt lines as if they were air. He ignored chants as if they were whispers. Every night, he returned with new power. The water in her hut swelled higher. Furniture floated. Mud caked the walls. The air smelled of wet rot. The elders tried a final ritual. They poured river water over charms. They whispered for forgiveness. It failed. The boy appeared in the middle of the circle, water dripping from his hair. Eyes black as midnight. He grinned. Your prayers mean nothing, he said. Do you understand now? I am not a boy. I am the river. And I will take everything. The elders fled. The woman collapsed. Her screams were swallowed by the river. Nothing could stop him. Not magic. Not prayer. Not fear. The revenge had become unstoppable. The woman's cries echoed, but the boy's wrath extended further. A neighbor had laughed at the woman once. He had mocked the story of the river. He thought it was just superstition. That night, his house flooded. Water poured from the roof. Mud coated the walls. The boy appeared at the window, dripping wet, eyes black. Laugh at me, he hissed. You will learn what it means to mock the river. He reached inside, dragging the man into the water that had now risen to the ceiling. The man screamed. The wall splintered. The water swallowed him entirely. Outside, the river swelled. The village watched in horror. No one dared approach. The woman realized with terror. The boy's revenge was no longer personal. The river had made him something larger. Something unstoppable. And anyone who ignored the rules, anyone who showed cruelty, would feel his wrath next. She could not hide. The woman ran from room to room. Every corner held water. Every shadow held him. Her breath came in gasps. Her heart pounded as though it would burst. She fell to the floor. Water licked her hands. Mud smeared her face. And then she heard it, the laughter of the boy. Low. Wet. Evil. You thought you could drown me, he whispered. I am the river now. I see everything. I remember everything. Her eyes widened. He appeared at the window, dripping water, hair plastered to his face, eyes black as midnight. She screamed, clawing at the walls, but the river followed her inside. Every step she took, water rose higher. It curled around her ankles, knees, waist, chest. The boy stepped forward. No sound but dripping. No mercy. No pause. You took my life, he said. And now I take yours. The woman's screams echoed, but no one came. The river had claimed her. And the village had never heard such terror before. The curse spread faster than anyone imagined. Children who played near the river disappeared. Cattle drowned in shallow ponds. Even the elders, who had called themselves wise, trembled in fear. The boy moved silently, appearing where he was least expected. A shadow behind the hut. A drip in the night. A wet hand on a sleeping shoulder. He demanded payment. The villagers whispered, fearing him more than death itself. Some tried to flee. The river followed. Footprints appeared in dry soil, wet and black as if the water itself had walked. The woman was gone, but her cries remained. They haunted anyone who had laughed, mocked, or disrespected the river. He had become unstoppable. Not a boy. Not a human. Something larger. Something the river had created to punish. By nightfall, the village feared water more than fire. Even rain brought terror. Even the smallest puddle held him. No one knew who would be next. And the river whispered, "You cannot hide. I am everywhere. And I am angry." The eldest of the village gathered the others. They came to the river, hands trembling, hearts heavy. They sprinkled salt. They called on the gods. They burned herbs. They shouted prayers. But the boy did not stop. He rose from the river, taller than before. Water poured from his hair, from his eyes, from his mouth. He laughed, a wet, gurgling sound that froze their blood. "You think your prayers can hold me?" His voice echoed across the riverbank. "I am the river. I am the boy you drowned. I am the rat you earned." The elders scattered, their prayers meaningless. The river climbed the banks. Footprints appeared on their walls. One by one, the water dragged those who resisted into its depths. The boy was no longer just seeking revenge. He was claiming dominion. The village itself had become his playground. No charm, no prayer, no magic could stop him. The elders ran, but the boy appeared in their path. Eyes black. Hands wet. A promise of death in every drip. The woman, shivering and soaked, stumbled to the riverbank. The boy waited. Tall, pale, dripping water, eyes burning like dark holes. The river surged behind him, as if it were alive. "You thought you could kill me," he said. "You thought the river could be tricked." She begged. She cried. But he stepped closer. Water rose to his knees, then to his waist. The river itself seemed to coil around her feet. He raised a hand. A splash. A gasp. The river pulled her under. Mud filled her mouth. Her screams mixed with the sound of the water. "You took everything from me," he whispered. "And now, you will pay." The villagers watched from the edges. No one dared move. The river boiled with revenge. And the boy, risen from death itself, claimed the woman completely. The first full revenge had been delivered. But the boy was not done. The river still whispered, still waiting. The village was silent. The woman's hut was empty. The river flowed quietly. Yet, every night, the dripping returned. Footprints appeared near houses. Children whispered of pale boys watching them from the water. No one dared speak his name aloud. No one dared mock the river. And even the bravest hunters avoided the banks. The boy had become a legend. Not just a ghost. Not just a curse. He was the river's wrath-giving flesh. "Do you remember me?" the river whispered. "Do you remember what happens to those who harm the innocent?" And somewhere, deep beneath the surface, the boy waited. Wet. Angry. Patient. The village learned fear. The river learned patience. And the curse remained. No one slept easily. No one smiled freely. And anyone who dared to approach the water did so with trembling hands. For the boy had returned. And he would never leave. If this story followed you, do not ignore it. Like this video. Subscribe. Because the river remembers those who listen. And it always comes.